Good afternoon, everyone, from wherever it is that you're watching, and welcome back to the Football Tribe YouTube channel. If this is the first video you're watching today, well, you missed out on the earlier one where I was reviewing all the action from the match day 2 Premier League action over the weekend. But anyway, you can catch that video later after this one as we preview the action between Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Now, Arsenal travel to Selhurst Park, a stadium that they've not had a lot of fortunes there, despite winning there twice. So let's get it started. Monday night football. Arsenal visit Crystal Palace under Roy Hodgson. Crystal Palace can be a physical and defensive side, but they are also good at the counter. So Arsenal should be worried that it won't be a walkover as they play Roy Hodgson inside. So Arsenal haven't won any away game under manager Mikel Arteta since he was appointed as the Gunners boss back in December 2019. They've lost to sides like Liverpool, Everton, Crystal Palace, and Newcastle during that spell. But also, the results include a 2-2 draw against Crystal Palace again on another Monday night when they hosted them at Emirates Stadium about 2 seasons ago. So their luck on Monday night are not very good. And if you observe, Monday night football does come with a bit of pressure because you watch all your competitors, all your rivals win or probably lose all throughout the weekend, and now it dawns upon you that it is upon you to win, to create that gap between you and your rivals, or to catch up with them. So in this particular case, Arsenal do want to catch up with the likes of Manchester City, the likes of Brighton, who are already leading the pack with 2 wins from 2. So it comes with a bit of pressure. And remember, Arsenal have suffered a massive injury for summer signing Jurrien, who was going to be critical in the way they apply themselves this season. But I guess that was the fate for him. So in the previous, remember, Arsenal opened their campaign last season, their incredible campaign last season, by beating up against Crystal Palace by 2-0. Gabriel Martinelli scoring the first goal of last season there in their pink jerseys, while Bukayo Saka had a deflected ball that made it 2-0 for the visitors at the time when Patrick Vieira was still in charge of Crystal Palace. Now, in the return leg of the same fixture, Arsenal did win that one by 4-1. So they've had decent results against Crystal Palace in the last 2 meetings. But when you look back, they've only won 2 actually, because that included again a 3-0 loss last season, but 1 when they visited Crystal Palace, while the reverse fixture had ended in a 2-2 draw. That was in October 2021. So the action between Crystal Palace and Arsenal can usually be won by anyone, but also oftentimes it ends up in a draw. So what will be your prediction for that one? And here's how I expect Arsenal to do setup, despite the injury to Jurrien. Contrary to reports that Zinchenko was still a doubt because he wasn't 100% fit. He has been training. He has been in full training for the last 3 days with the team there. So do not be surprised if Mikel Arteta does read him on his team sheet. David Villa has joined. We've seen the competitive training action between him and Aaron Ramsdale, but I do expect Aaron Ramsdale to retain his number 1 position in goal at right back, whereas it was Thomas Partey that started against Nottingham Forest. I expect Ben White to go back to right back. I expect William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes, who didn't start the previous game, to start at centre back. Now at left back, it could be Zinchenko or Takehiro Tomiyasu. Remember when Jurrien was withdrawn in that game after sustaining that horrible injury, it was Takehiro Tomiyasu that was brought in to play left back. Kieran Tierney who is a want away at Arsenal, was not even in the matchday squad. So, whereas Mikel Arteta says Kieran Tierney is still in his plans, having played him in the Community Shield there, he still begs the question why he continues to start the likes of Jakub Kiviu as he did in preseason ahead of Kieran Tierney, who is a natural left back. Now, it is largely due to the way Mikel Arteta wants his side to play, and the left back or right back coming into attacking at midfield, which I must be honest that Kieran Tierney is not accustomed to that. He's a traditional left back, very good defensively, very good on the overlap, bringing in the crosses and all that. So, but I do think it will be Zinchenko that will start at left back. Now, in midfield, I expect Thomas Partey. He has given Arsenal no reason not to start him in that deep lying midfield role where he fires so well. And every time he does play there, Arsenal do perform well. Alongside summer signing Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard in front of those two there. On the flanks, we expect Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka as the starters. Now, the key question arises, who leads the attacking line? Is it Kai Havertz? Is it Leandro Trossard? Is it Eddie Nketiah? Now, in the previous game, it was Eddie Nketiah who started. Remember, Gabriel Jesus is out with an injury. He had to go a minor surgery on his knee, so we'll wait for his return. Mikel Arteta did say that having started with Kai Havertz up front in the Community Shield game against Manchester City, Eddie Nketiah did work like a beast in training and forced his hand to start him against Nottingham Forest. And he did pay that trust when he opened the scoring of that Gabriel Martinelli assist. So if he did start and he did perform, what reason does Mikel Arteta have for dropping him up front? Well, again, it will be a question of tactics, how Mikel Arteta wants his team to play, and who will be the smarter player to use up front. Now, when you start with Kai Havertz, you give yourself that chance of a long ball reception, as they did against Manchester City and in certain moments against Nottingham Forest. While Eddie Nketiah is not that tall, he's not a 6 foot forward like Kai Havertz, so you do not have that. But he's a good player. Then Leandro Trossard. Now, Leandro Trossard, in my opinion, was Arsenal's best player of the summer in preseason. But he's yet to start a game, and I think he does give them a different dimension. Maybe you could even start him in midfield. But if you start Trossard in midfield, the question is, would you drop? So, anyway, that is how I expect Arsenal to line up. Now, my pick out of those three would be Leandro Trossard to start up front. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is either Nketiah or Kai Havertz that starts up front for Mikel Arteta in his selection. On the side of Crystal Palace, we do not expect many changes from the side that beat up against Sheffield United by a goal to nil on the opening weekend of the Premier League. You expect Johnston, Ward, Anderson, Gaihi, Mitchell, Lemar, Diakore, Jordan Ayew, and Ebelechi Eze, Jeffrey Shirap, and Eduardo there, or Michael Olise to start. So that's the lineup we expect. My expectations are that it will be a difficult game, but eventually Arsenal will nick this one by two goals to 1 or 3-1. So that's the result I expect of Arsenal, and it should be the result if they are the title contenders they consider themselves to be. So do not forget, kickoff is at 10 p.m. And apologies to whoever watched my preview for the weekend, especially on the kickoff time for Real Madrid and Barcelona. Those games did kick off p.m. contrary to 6:30 that I told you. So apologies on that one. So let's watch out for that action, and after that, I'll give you my Premier League 11 of the weekend after Arsenal played their game against Crystal Palace, because there were a lot of good players over the weekend. Very very exciting performances from the likes of Estupiñán, Mitoma, Soboslai, Yuvis Bissouma, Sa there at Spurs. So wait for that best 11 of the weekend. Otherwise, do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you for watching and see you next time.